let's get things started.
Good morning and welcome to The View. You all saw the news. Whoopi will be back here in 2 weeks. Okay. Tara Setmayer has returned to guest co-host. So let's get to hot topics, ladies.
So you can probably tell from that intro that not only is Whoopi out, that's sort of the news, but they're not happy about it. That's literally all they said. Yeah, you heard the news. Okay, let's move on. So Dan, Whoopi is out over her comments about the Holocaust. We'll play the video in just a little bit to remind people that hadn't seen it, but all the news is saying that the View co-hosts are reportedly furious about it. I read that, then I saw that intro and I thought, yeah, I think they're pretty mad about this.
Yeah, the View co-hosts tend to fight a lot on air and off air, and that's the drama that people love to talk about. But you're very much seeing, as you do in a lot of shows and context, there's camaraderie among the hosts, and so it's seeming that they are looking at the 2-week suspension of Whoopi Goldberg, and at least from what I can tell, they see it as very heavy-handed.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Why don't we get into a little bit of a debate here? First of all, for those who might not have seen Whoopi's original comments, here is what she said that started this whole thing.
Also, if you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race.
It's about a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
But it's about white supremacy.
It's not about
ideal race.
But these are two white groups of people.
Well, how do we have to black people
see them as white?
But you're missing the point. You're missing the point. The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other. It's a problem.
Okay, so that's what she said, and then in a written statement and an appearance on the Late Show, she added a little bit of nuance. Some people had issues with those too. It has resulted in a 2-week suspension, supposedly to think things through and all that. Dan, where do you come down on this? What, if any, should the punishment have been?
So breaking down the whole thing, Whoopi Goldberg's comments were ridiculous. I called it previously the all lives mattering of genocide, essentially saying that if you have it's okay, it doesn't matter. You had this one instance here. It's not that much different from this other instance where people were killed for their appearance or their religious belief or whatever. This is, at the end of the day, it's just humans being mean to each other. And on like in the much the same way as I go on dates in Los Angeles with people who are very into astrology, I understand how you can just take away all of the context from this and just see people as humans going through space and stars, man. But I use the all lives matter terminology because when people are saying Black Lives Matter, they're talking about the way that police and the legal system interacts with Black people and how that's a specific problem. The Holocaust was not Nazi Germans going, oh, well, you appear Jewish and your family's Jewish, but you're not practicing Jewish culture, like Judaism as a religion. So we're not gonna move you to a camp. You get to stay here. It wasn't like that. Bigotry doesn't work like that. They were rounding people up, and the horrors of the Holocaust, hopefully don't need to teach everyone here about. But Whoopi, and she has Jewish co-hosts, she has to understand how maybe she was trying to come from a right place. I can see how maybe she was trying to, but erasing the fact that Jews were persecuted specifically way back then is erasing the fact that Jews are now being persecuted again today in a number of different contexts by the same people who are also persecuting African Americans, Latino Americans, people of all different races other than white, people of all gender expressions and sexual orientations. The Nazis are once again coming back. And by just saying this is just violence against people and we need to look at it like that, it disarms the fact that we need to pay attention to white identity extremists specifically and their messages in order to disarm them.
Yeah, which I agree. Actually, I agree with a lot of the things that you said. And you did say a great many things, but what you didn't say was what, if anything, the consequence should be.
Oh, the consequence, that's right. So yeah, that's the thing I'll disagree with. 2 weeks is, I think, a little bit too long. I think, look, here's what you don't want to do. Have Whoopi Goldberg go over her statements again or try to apologize it because it probably won't sound any better, or people will say, oh, it was canned, oh, it wasn't genuine or whatever. So maybe a cool off period. I'm not gonna steal someone else's joke here, but I think 2 weeks is really long. I think 2 days, that's fine, reasonable. Mostly I think you just want the story to blow over. You don't want any other like attention from the press. And thankfully we live in a shorter attention media ecosystem than ever. So if you give it 2 days and a weekend, we're good.
Okay, interesting. Well, we will see what people think. I'm not sure if this is the joke that you were worried about stealing. Was it the Kat Rosenfield joke?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read the tweet. The 2-week cool down period in which a controversial person is suspended purely for PR purposes will hereafter be known as a whoopee cushion. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Look, I personally think, and understand, we all have biases that we're affected by. I right now am being affected by maybe the most ridiculous bias that a person can be influenced by, which is I have a ridiculous level of nostalgia and affection for Guinan and her portrayal in Sister Act. So even when she's saying the insane things about the Holocaust, I'm hearing it as if she's explaining how to sing a song. So I'm trying not to be influenced by that, but it's hard. I personally think I would just use this as an opportunity. Bring on people to talk about this, the current state of white supremacy and neo-Nazis and all that. Use the huge platform that they have specifically to talk about the current state and to add more information and context about the Holocaust, because there's a lot of people out there who don't know a lot about the Holocaust or anti-Semitism. I would say that might be more positive. And it seems weird for like Whoopi Goldberg is gonna be sent away for 2 weeks to like chill. But like when we found out that Tucker Carlson's like lead writer was a hardcore racist and white supremacist online, Tucker went like, he took a 3-day weekend to fish and then came back and just was really defensive about it. Like, I understand they're different companies, but I mean, it's weird.
Not only defensive, but Tucker Carlson went full gas afterwards. Like he wasn't like, okay, now we're gonna take an editorial shift in our show because he's gone. Yeah. We're quadrupling down. So yeah, I think there's better. Whoopi Goldberg is not a comparison to Tucker Carlson in this case, but as I've also said, Whoopi Goldberg and most of the people on The View are not smart political pundits. We just throw them on air in daytime TV in America and say, here, talk about politics for 10 minutes. And we get clips out of that. But there's only so much you can get from Whoopi Goldberg.
That's true. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.